Now, I would like to talk about what is a problem. So firstly, I would like to introduce problem definition based on treats. Treats which I'm not going to focus too much through this video lecture, but the template which I'm going to introduce is based on this methodology. This is a very interesting methodology for problem solving. If you are interested in, you may Google the word treats. You may find very interesting problem solving methodology. But actually, this is not the point. This is not the point for this video lecture. So what I'm going to use treats for this lecture is how this methodology defines a problem. So from my understanding, what you are doing in your research activity must be you are going to solve some problem. You are going to solve a problem. Then, based on this assumption, I would like you to think about what is a research paper. From my opinion, actually from my understanding like this, a research paper must be a sentences to state that your research contributes to solve a problem. Then so far, actually, I have taken care of many of the research papers written by many students from various fields. Now, through that activity, what I have noticed through the proofreading of the research papers in various engineering fields is actually many of the research papers were very difficult to understand for me. So at first, I thought this is why I cannot understand the research paper was because the field is different. So originally, I've got my PhD in the field of mechanical engineering, but some students, some of the papers were written about how to detect amino acid, actually chemistry stuffs, and some of them dealing with some atom molecules, something like that. So it's so difficult for me, and of course I do not know much of the expertise in those fields. At first, I thought these things could be the reason why I cannot understand what they are trying to say in their research paper. But now I have got a little bit different idea. Now, of course, there must be obviously a kind of language and disciplinary barrier, but one of the main reasons why people cannot understand the research paper written by other people is so many of research papers, actually especially which are difficult to understand, do not include enough information to define the problem solved through the research. So that's the reason why here, through this video lecture, I would like you to think about what is a problem. I would like you to understand the clear definition of a problem. Then let me briefly introduce what is the treats is. Treats is abbreviation. Actually, to abbreviation of Russian language, which means theory of inventive problem solving. This is a problem-solving methodology based on the analysis of 2 million patents. Right? I do believe 2 million patents, there are 2 million ideas, but there's a kind of patterns of problem solving. Then the inventor of treats what the inventor of treats is saying that a problem is that a situation where improvement of parameter A causes deterioration of parameter B in a system. This is this situation shown in the figure on left hand side. So I think actually this figure on the right hand side is saying exactly the same thing. But when you are thinking about your research activity, probably this way of thinking, this model of problem may be more suitable. A problem is a situation where a negative state is generated when realizing a positive state with a system. So now I just want you to notice that I'm using the word system. Then what the treatise is saying that what the treatise is saying is that the 2 million patents have eliminated such situations. So this methodology defines clearly what the problem is, and also clearly defines what is the solution, or what the solutions are. Then I think I have performed kind of abstract discussion. I would like to show you some of the simple examples. Then first example is a simple example of problems. The first example is electric power generation realizes our convenient life, but it causes air pollution. I do believe that some of the engineering researchers may be dealing with this kind of problem. But similar thing could be said in our daily life. So another example is knife is a convenient tool for cooking, but sometimes we get injured. Right? So in this case, we are trying to improve the convenience though in cooking, right? But at the same time, the kind of increased risk of getting injured. Then another more familiar example could be next one. So playing video game is a lot of fun, but you may consume time and get bad grades in lectures. I think this may be happening to many of university students. Of course, you may play video game when you need to perform some experiment, but if you do that too much, you may fail to get graduated from the university. So anyway, what I would like you to understand here is these things, these are the model of problems facing our lives across all fields, not only in engineering field, but also in our daily life. So when you explain about a problem, what I would like you to do is just imagine this situation. Then there is a kind of template to describe a problem. So actually, this template, the textualize the situation shown these figures. So if we introduce system positive state, this actually change of parameter A is generated, but negative state, change of parameter B, is also generated. So when you want to determine a problem clearly, so what you must do, what I strongly recommend you to do, is determine these three components of information: system, positive state, negative state, and related parameters. Then let me explain from my opinion what was going on in the research papers which I have read so far, and the papers that's really difficult for me to understand. What was going on there was many of these papers actually failed to explain what is positive state in the problem. Now, as I mentioned, to define a problem clearly, you need to define these three information components. But many of papers, which I couldn't understand, obviously failed to describe what is positive state that the system is expected to generate it. So positive state, why it happens? This is just my guess, but it may be too much common. Yeah, the positive state may be too much common thing among laboratory members. But you should notice that it may not for the people, for the readers of your paper who are outside your laboratory, including reviewers. Yeah, if you cannot get high evaluation by reviewers, probably your paper may not be accepted. So it's not a difficult thing. Just determine positive state or only one line in your paper. So but make sure to spend a few sentences to describe, to clearly describe what the positive state generated from your system is. Then this is all for this section. Thank you for listening.